First, please note that when shooting with multiple cameras, you absolutely must make sure that they are set to the same camera settings. Otherwise, you might be in for a hard time in the editing room. So you know that you'll be shooting at a 1080p resolution, but what about that other number that you always hear about? It even might be right next to the resolution number. On most cameras, you can choose to shoot at 24p or 29.97p. The numbers refer to the frames per second. The P in this case, again, stands for progressive. Frame rate refers to how many pictures your video takes in 1 second. So if you set your camera to take 24 frames per second, the camera will take 24 pictures per second that will be blended together into a video. If set to 29.97 or 30 frames per second, the camera will take around 30 per second. Whether you choose 24p or 29.97p comes down to a personal choice. 24 FPS will give you the film movement look, while 29.97 or 30 FPS will give you a regular video look. Experiment with both and see which one you like better. Now you should already be familiar with what a lot of the settings on your camera do. It is assumed that you already understand aperture, ISO, exposure, and shutter speed. In photography, you can manipulate the shutter speed if you want to freeze something in action or achieve a blur effect of something in motion. In video, shutter speed is similar, yet somewhat different. To start with, your shutter speed should be double the frame rate you're shooting at. So if you're shooting at 24 FPS, then your shutter speed should be set at 48. So, 1/50th is probably what the closest number on your camera would be. Your results may vary by camera, so start with this and experiment with different shutter speeds with your camera. Your shutter speed setting might also be affected a small bit by how dark the room is. If you have a lower shutter speed, you'll notice in your viewfinder that your image will be brighter, while your image will get darker with a higher shutter speed. It might not always be possible to get a truly optimal shutter speed if the room is too dark, but try not to go any lower than double your frame rate. Shutter speed settings are more for DSLRs than camcorders. While it is possible to manually adjust the shutter speed on camcorders, most camcorders will have automatic settings for shutter speed that will serve you well.